everybody, Jennifer Roberts, Pod Queen, and I have guests today. We're doing a whole series on romance and love stories.
Okay, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I've watched this podcast now many times.
Many times.
And every time you get to the point where you go, Pod Queen, blah, 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 you do your thing.
Yeah.
Every time you have a guest, they laugh.
But you didn't laugh.
No, I did. But the thing is, I came into this going, I'm not going to laugh at that part.
Oh.
I'm going to stay steady. And I couldn't help myself. I laughed.
There's a little giggle there.
There was a giggle. I'm
Sorry.
sorry.
Well, that's good to know. At least you fought it.
I did.
Tracy, you didn't laugh.
I did.
Just a little giggle. That's good. Okay, well, David and Tracey Sliker are here, and we're going to hear their love story. And this is exciting. Because a lot of people kind of have just ideas about romance that maybe aren't rooted in anything but fantasy. So we're going to hear about this romance, which is a real romance. I've had the opportunity to see Dave and Tracey up close and personal. Not so much like living together. But the fruit, I've seen the fruit of your womb. Your kids are amazing. And I've seen their relationship mature and blossom, and they fight for each other. So now we're going to do the backup, and let's hear about dating. Like, how long ago? What years are we talking?
Well, I first met Tracy as a friend in 1985.
Wow.
We were in 8th grade, and my family had just moved to the suburb, like where he went to school.
85. What was her hair big?
Yeah,
huge.
much
I mean,
bigger.
huge.
Yeah,
Very big. Very big.
That's awesome.
Colorful sweaters and big hair.
Oh yeah. Okay. So 85. You're in 8th grade, and then when did you start dating?
my senior year of college, and I did the whole like right high school straight into college, so that would have been 94.
Okay. So you're like 22-ish.
And we were really just kind of acquaintances through high school.
Yeah.
And I actually found when we started dating, I found some journal entries in my journals where I had prayed for him to get saved in high school, not knowing that he had been already gotten saved. I just knew he had a couple Christian friends,
Which
and
is
so
a terrible sentence about your life in high school.
it's okay.
Really, you were saved?
Awesome.
You just never want someone to say that.
Right.
Really?
Never.
Really, you were
Nobody's
saved?
saved.
Yeah.
Huh.
He had great friends, but I didn't think he was actually saved.
That's
But I thought he was
hysterical.
like good. He was close. Like he could probably more than other guys that
I was moral.
Yeah, you were
There we go.
kind and moral,
Yeah.
and like he was on his way to getting saved in my book without actually knowing him. Like we didn't ever really talk, but we kind of had all the same classes together. We took band together,
Woo!
and yeah. He was kind of like a cut up in band, and I was band president.
Oh,
you know,
look at
like,
being president.
I was the drummer.
yeah.
And what did you play?
Flute.
Flute, you guys. Let's get her on the audition team. Amazing.
Yeah, and so then it was when we started school at college, he was just a familiar face amongst a sea of strangers.
Right.
And there was a day, my mom, who I was only about 45 minutes from.
Which this was 1990.
1990, started college. I was about 45 minutes from home. Mom was like, get someone to drive you back. I'll do your laundry. I'll feed you. And then I'll drive you back out. So somebody's got to have a car. Someone wants to come to the mall and drop you off or something. And I said, you know, there is this kid in my astronomy class that he commutes. And so maybe he could give me a ride. And I asked him for a ride, and he agreed. And
Did you pay for gas?
I had to fight him to pay for gas. He was trying to be polite.
That's
But when
awesome.
I hopped in his car, he had a Frank Peretti book, just a great book on the seat that I only knew my Christian friends reading. And so that day I found out that Dave Sliker was a serious man of God, and he was loving the Lord and spending his time between classes in the library praying, and that started our friendship.
Right. And then so you started dating shortly after.
No, it was about 4 years.
4 years.
Okay.
We were
So
really good friends for 4 years.
Yeah.
oh, that's awesome.
We endured a lot of questions of why aren't you guys dating? And at the time, my answer used to be, I don't want to ruin this great relationship.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to go from friend into.
And I was in a season of consecration with the Lord, where I was really wanting to focus on not dating and really give my time and attention to the Lord and the Word. So it was kind of a set-apart season.
Right. And so what first attracted you to Tracy?
Well, it was her love for Jesus, her confidence, the way that she carried herself. She just, ultimately, she was really pretty.
Yeah.
Really pretty.
Still is.
Yeah.
Bonus!
Well, actually, she's way more pretty now than she was then, and I thought she was really pretty then.
Nice.
Oh, and I think he means it.
No, for real. For real. Way more beautiful. She's beautiful now. She was really pretty then, really attractive. She's beautiful. She's added beauty and aged well. She's aged into great beauty, which is amazing.
And then what was...
For a non-Asian, because, mostly only Asians do that.
Totally. Yeah. There's another story about that. So, Tracey, what attracted you to Dave first thing?
Dave was strong and confident, and I could just talk with him for hours. He's a great listener and just tons of fun. Like, I had a great time with him, and we could just talk and talk and talk. And
so wait, what are we talking about right now?
You and how awesome
okay.
you are.
I wasn't listening.
Yeah, good listener, Dave. That's awesome. So now let's transition to you dated and then you got engaged. So I want to talk about how did you know that you guys were to get married? Like, how did that happen?
Well, for me, to make the leap, because we were best friends for 4 years.
Yeah.
And so to make the leap from best friend to dating, there had to be no, I want to marry this girl. It wasn't It wasn't a best friend to dating and maybe we get married. If I was going to make that leap, it was because I was going to marry this girl.
Right.
So,
and you'd had that 4-year history, so you could observe in a good way.
And it wasn't romantic. And the thing that was good for me in terms of not being romantic is that you get to see who the person really is, not who they're trying to be in the name of romance.
Key. That's critical.
Yeah, romance is what happens to the heart as the Lord stirs your heart in love and affection for a person. But so often romance becomes who we try to be to impress the other person.
And then you got to keep maintaining it.
Right.
It's a little bit stressful.
And there was none of that for us because we were best friends. So there was no pretense. There was no trying to be something. We genuinely enjoyed each other for who the other person was, with no desire for that person to be something for me in the name of my security.
Right.
And so that was really enjoyable. But then to make the leap into romance was to say it's because we're getting married.
Yeah.
And that was very clear from the beginning. But the difficulty was, I'm starting Bible school, and she's ending college just because of some things that happened in my life. I ended up leaving college. It was the Lord, and I ended up saving money to go to Bible school.
Right.
So by the time I had saved money to go to Bible school, she was finishing college.
Gotcha.
So I'm in my first year.
Hello, breadwinner.
Well, worse than that, she was making a transition to go to Florida and work at Universal Studios.
Okay.
Radio and television production. And so she's thinking, I'm going to leave forever. Like, I'm not coming back. And who knows what you're doing? You're in Bible school going into ministry, and who knows where.
Right.
And so it seemed like our paths were divergent, that we were going in two different directions. And so I'm in that dilemma of the Lord stirring my heart to pursue this girl.
Right.
And it was really the Lord for me, because we're such good friends, it was hard.
Yeah.
And
it was a risk.
To break past that deep friendship, to really make that step was tough. And so the Lord stirring my heart, but I'm confused because we're going on two different paths, and I don't know if she's ever coming back. And so I had to figure out, do I even tell her that I like her?
Right.
That's the big deal. And my friends were giving me different advice, because in my Bible school, it was a real small Bible school, so if there was a girl that I liked, it was like news.
Yeah.
So everybody's talking about this mysterious girl.
Because of the consecration.
Yeah. So everybody's talking about this girl. Who's this girl? Who's this girl? Who's this girl? So she comes on campus, and I remember, I'll never forget it. I'm playing basketball. And it was, check out the school for high schoolers weekend.
Right.
So 5 of us were dominating the basketball court, and the whole school was in the gym. And so we're just running, and then Tracey walks into the gym. I'll never forget.
It's this little bitty gym. Like when you go through the front door, you're like in the middle of the foul line.
And I stop, and I look at her, and I wave, and everyone realizes it's the girl. Everyone turns. The whole gym is staring at Tracey.
The whole gym. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh
and I was like,
crazy.
yeah, that's the girl. And then they were like, whoa. And so we went and had a talk, and I'll never forget, my friends that I was playing basketball with all stopped playing basketball to walk by the cafe where we were sitting so we could kind of stare in the window and figure out the skis to come in.
Yeah.
It was sweet, but that was the night that I told you how I felt about you. I'll never forget it.
That's awesome.
So for transitioning, I just want to say, like, transitioning from even dating into marriage, I felt like the Lord was very kind to me. And I feel like He knew my frame. My family had been through divorce.
Yeah.
And I just didn't have great confidence that I could do marriage.
Right.
That I just thought, all the statistics say I'm bound to fail.
Right.
Yet, look at this great guy, and it seems right, but I just didn't have any confidence that my mind could make a bad decision. I just scared to make big decisions, you know? And so in the place of prayer, I kind of put myself out there, and I just had a great, like, blatant, helpful moments from the Lord where he just was able to give me ideas. Like
Yeah.
I was in a class at one point where, you know, they talk about ask yourself these certain questions and that'll help you decide if this man that you might be interested in might be your husband. And I was who gets that? And every question they proposed was like, in my heart I could say yes. Like one of their questions was, is this person you're considering marrying the kind of man that if your children passed away, you'd be proud of him to raise, you'd trust him and
That's awesome.
I was like, yes, I trust him to raise. Dave Sliker would be a phenomenal father, you know, and is your relationship with God propelled and growing when you're with him more than when you're alone? You know, is he? And I was like, absolutely.
Those are excellent questions.
And then on my own, in the place of journaling, I remember one of the key things. I think now, how did I come up with that? Was that Dave Sliker says he's sorry so well, and now I know this man is humble. He is tender before God. He feels the Holy Spirit. He's not too proud. But you know, so the strong man who I wanted to follow, I had watched him treat his mom bad and go buy her flowers. And I just, it's something inside me went, that is wisdom. He took note of those things. And I think back to that, and I felt so inept, but God was so helpful.
Yeah.
And I would just like to say to young people, have confidence, ask the questions to God, and have confidence that he can help you. And it's not so mysterious. Absolutely. But there is no better way to find your way forward than just having him write the story for you. And
so good. So good. Well, thanks, you guys. This is awesome.
This is fun.
Just short, 11 minutes or something like that. Just a snippet into their life. But this is good. It just gives people a little perspective, a little help on their journey. And so thank you guys for joining the Pod Queen.